everyone. Hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily, Thursday Thoughts. It's Des here. Of course, with the live question and answers, your opportunity to get in your questions, whatever's on your mind, for me to answer, could be based on what I thought, what I've been saying so far this week, what I've said in the past, or just general things about what I'm trying to do here on DOdaily. Of course, what I am trying to do is just be honest and realistic and create some conversation, some interaction for those that might need it. For anybody looking in, just an alternative vlog. It's me every day saying things the way I see them, and just trying to be positive and enthusiastic. Of course, that's what DOdaily is all about. What I will say before we get started, if you could give the episode a thumbs up, it just helps me share this around YouTube, try and spread the channel. And of course, if you're new, please do subscribe. That'd be absolutely amazing. Lots of new subscribers recently. And again, that's something to be really, really positive about. And I'm definitely positive at the moment. Absolutely buzzing with the way things are going. Really, really busy, it seems. But I've actually just got back in from another run. That's 3 days in a row. Feel like I'm really starting to nail this training. I'll nail it. It's probably a bit strong, but get back into it at least and really start sort of doing what I need to do. So when I can do that, I feel absolutely fantastic. Finding the time to do it is a little bit tricky, like I mentioned, being a bit busy, but it has to be done. I talk about all the time, particularly on a Wednesday, I talk about taking that time for ourselves. And whilst it wasn't exactly on my own and I was helping somebody else through 5K, took the pace off slightly. I have done 2 days already and it is really, really hot out there. It was just nice to get out and do my activity and feel all those endorphins building on the previous set and the set before, and all the good things that are happening. And I just feel absolutely on top form right now. I'm not quick. I'm not particularly fit, but I'll get there and I'm churning them out. I'm getting through them. And again, when I can do all those things, as I say, all throughout the week, if I can do my running, my walking and all the things I like to do for myself, it just adds to everything else that's going well as well. So as ever on a Thursday, I like to start by saying where I'm at this week, feeling really, really good, really, really sort of pleased to be where I am, got a smile on my face. And that's so important, isn't it? We've lots to do, we've lots to look forward to. Sometimes it can get a little bit overwhelming, and it has been a little bit overwhelming, but all of a sudden I feel reinvigorated and it feels like an opportunity to really, really push on. The things I'm doing outside of this, of course, the football before, and the promotion, and then the cricket recently, going there and enjoying lots of that, and the new subscribers and the channel building, and of course the marathon and the wedding later in the year, that's what's to be not to be happy about. But like I say, when I can get out there and do what I want to do, it's absolutely amazing. It feels like it's just a perfect mix of everything coming together. And I'm just going to reiterate, put a smile on my face. And when I can feel it, the way I am when I'm walking around with a smile on my face, not just concentrating on the next thing, what more do we need? And there is things we need to do to maintain that. And of course, that's what I'm trying to impress as we go on through DOdaily. So usual format, the throwback questions, some responses to last week, and then I'll get stuck in a different set of questions today. It should make for an interesting episode. If you've got anything to say throughout, please drop a comment. That would be nice. Try and read as many of those out. And of course, if you've got any questions to ask me whilst I'm live, drop them on. I'll answer those. Put me on the spot or anything throughout the week. Please drop it on any social media link, any DOdaily video, and I'll fish them out next Thursday and give it my best shot. All I'm trying to do is help people understand, that we can take little bits of inspiration from unexpected places at times, and little sort of comments, throwaway comments, things people say can just make the difference. I've spoke a lot this week about my Sunday social episode from last weekend, what I put out. Really, really enjoyed doing it. Of course, I was meeting somebody who I'd looked up to when I was young, but talking to Kevin Campbell, an ex-Forest player, and talking about something other than football. It was brilliant. It was absolutely amazing. And when I watched it back, it really sort of sparked me into life. It made me realise that having that conversation two-way rather than just trying to impress it through DOdaily. I was telling someone and they was agreeing with me and we was on the same page. And then I thought, but I've not done some of those, and it made me sort of click into gear, and I've definitely done that. It's not just the fact I was talking to Kevin Campbell, but it's the fact I was listening to what I said. Some of I went quite deep there in parts, and it was quite touchy as well. So it was important for me to get some of that off my chest. I do it all the time through the channel, but in that particular episode, it just really sort of hit home that I need to do this, this, and this. And I always say, don't I try and talk a lot. I try and make myself accountable. But even that sometimes, it's proved it's not enough. But the more you do talk about it, you're kind of talking yourself back into action. For the last few months, I've said things and I've gone and done them and I've not really enjoyed them, but I've been ploughing through it. Now when I can enjoy it, it's almost like I've talked myself back into the right place just by maintaining positivity. And that's crucial. If we get into sort of negative self-talk, we end up pulling ourselves down, taking ourselves that little bit further back, and it takes a lot longer to get back to where we need to be. So whilst it feels like it's taken an age, I'm getting there. I feel like I'm getting there, and there's so much to be positive about for that. But I'll get stuck into last week's throwback. Like I say, if you've got anything to add to anything that I say, it'd be absolutely amazing. Any feedback about the channel, whether you like it, dislike it, you think I could do better here and there, always welcome, open to constructive criticism. That's what it's about. It's about that continual improvement and trying to be that little bit better. So we'll get back into the throwback. I asked, which famous sportsman have you had the pleasure of watching or would you love to have seen? Of course, that came on the back of me mentioning sort of Kevin Campbell, and somebody asked me last week which footballer I'd like to have seen. I mentioned Olivier Giroud, and I've been lucky enough to see the likes of Beckham and Scholes play for England and people like that. Said I'd have loved to have seen Ayrton Senna, one of my real heroes. Somebody I watch all the programs about him. Ian Botham was another one I'd have loved to have seen in action. And I was just looking for what other people thought. Again, there's no wrong answer to this. It's just about trying to sort of put ideas into people's head, why they like things, why we could like them, why we like what we do. It's all just trying to work it out. Kay says, obviously she's a runner. It says, I would have loved to have been there when Kipchoge did the sub 2 hour marathon. And that's interesting for me because as a runner, I was never somebody who was into watching running for all the sports I enjoy. But since I've been running, watching running and especially when I'm at the coaching and I do it as a coaching session rather than take part myself, as I've done tonight. I get to watch the guys and watching their performance improve and them get PBs and seeing their reactions. It's absolutely amazing. So I can see where Kay's coming from on that. And we now both sit down and watch athletics quite a lot. When the running's on, we watch it. And of course, we've got a sort of vested interest in it now, but it means so much more because it's part of what we do. Another one kind of close to my heart. Ben says, I would have loved to have been there when Forest won the European Cups. Of course, after this season, it's been absolutely brilliant. But the purple patch was a good few years ago now, as other teams fans like to remind us that we're living in the past. But it'd been nice to have seen it. Of course, it's all just a fluke of time almost. We can't change time. We can change a lot of things, but we can't do that. So it'd have been amazing to see, and I second that, Ben. Dina says, I've seen Valentino Rossi at Donington Park. That was a dream of mine. Again, somebody who's got a huge following, I've got huge respect for what he does, and sort of what he does in terms of motorsports is not one of my favourite things, but what's his nickname again? Is it the Doctor? So Dina's seeing the Doctor, and really, really enjoyed that. And I can imagine that, as one of the best at what he did. on the super bikes. I can imagine that was a spectacle to see. Kate says, I once met Lee Westwood on a flight back from the US. He was really friendly. Interesting one, isn't it? You know, sometimes you never know who you're going to bump into, and it's always nice. You know, I try not to be a fanboy, particularly as I get older and get all soft when I see somebody famous. But it's always nice to see somebody famous and talk to them, isn't it? You know, I remember once I saw David Lloyd, Bumble from the cricket. I seen him in Nottingham drinking, and he said hello to me, you know, without being prompted, and that was really nice. Just somebody who makes me laugh when I watch him on TV, and again, it's just these little things, and they create stories to tell, don't they? And they create positivity, and that's all I'm trying to do. Mark said, I'd have loved to have been there when Red Rum won the national. Of course, he won it 3 times in the 70s. Really sort of big moment in horse racing, and anybody with a horse racing persuasion would definitely want to see that. Me too. I love watching the old Grand Nationals. Don't get me wrong, I don't know much about horse racing whatsoever. I do have a little bit here and there, but I don't know much about horse racing. But I love watching the old Grand Nationals, the old footage of races gone past, you know, and so that one definitely would have been a bucket lister for someone. Another Ben said, I'd like to have seen the rivalry between Cram, Ovett and Co. Again, from that running point of view, looking back at the old videos now, just like with Red Rum there, you know, it looks absolutely amazing. The three British guys in the white vests with the red and blue lines around the chest, and they're all on the podium or in the top 3, or they're trying to beat each other. That would have been brilliant. I think Cram was a little bit younger than the other two, but Ovett and Co in particular was big rivals. And then Cram come along, and he was a great runner too. And of course, anybody who watches the Great North Run or the Athletics or the London Marathon will hear him there, and he often talks about his time doing it. And it's all really inspiring stuff. You know, I really sort of enjoy listening to those guys. And the thing about sports people, and particularly ones from the past, is you really sort of take something from it. I mentioned Ian Botham. I love listening to him talk. I don't know why. There's certain people in life where when they talk, we kind of listen. And I think it's important to have those kind of people to not model yourself on, but to sort of follow their sort of thought processes and try and work out why you like it and understand it. And that's, of course, part of what I try to do through DOdaily. I try and understand what I'm thinking, what other people are thinking, just to try and encourage that encourages to be that little bit better, I guess. So thanks for the feedback there. There was a few more, but I thought that there were some great ones within there. I'll crack straight into the questions. Like I say, if you've got any comments, please do sort of drop them on. I'd love to sort of feedback and answer them if they're questioning what I say. That would be great too. Like I say, different set today, and thanks for those who've popped them in. Peter says, Extreme or snow and ice, which would you rather run in? I think the simple answer to that one, Peter, is none of them. You know, at the moment, it feels like I'm running in extreme heat. I've actually run in worse. I went on a holiday a few years ago, and I said I'd do 10K every day in Spain, and it was absolutely blistering. It was 33, 34 degrees. I did my 10Ks, and it was absolutely awful. It was one of the hardest little mini running challenges I created myself. It was really tough. But I got through it. I set myself the challenge, you know, and generally when I set myself a challenge, I'll do it. That's the point of me saying it before I went on the holiday on here, you know, before I do something, is to try and make myself accountable. Because when we say we're going to do something, we like to prove that we can, you know, as human beings. We don't like to sort of let other people down. We don't like to let ourselves down. So the extreme heat is really tough. And right now, this last 3 days, I think the reason I'm taking so much from it is because I know how hard it is. It would be hard because of the lack of training, because of the injuries, because of the illnesses from the past. It would be hard now anyway because of the extra weight I've put on. But in the heat, you know, it just gets a little bit harder. Every little bit of weight you're carrying, you know, just feels that little bit heavier. And and it's just a case of, like I said right at the start, digging in, and that's what's made me feel good. So I'll go out in it. I don't like it, but it's about pushing through. The snow and ice, of course, you have to be careful around that one. I've ran in the snow. I remember once doing a 10-mile run. Careful I was, wore the right footwear, made sure I did the right thing. The ice is a really dangerous one, and that's something we have to be careful about. I did a session. Some of the guys will know who watch. I did a session, a DOdaily coaching session along on the river, on the Victoria Embankment here in Nottingham, in the freezing fog at 5 a.m. That was commitment in January. 5:30 a.m., something like that, and it was absolutely freezing, -5. But we ran on the grass. We did a bleep test in the grass, and that showed massive commitment. But again, it was that accountability of being there to do it. But what I'd say in both of those, either end of the scale, just be really, really careful. Take plenty of fluid on board if you're running in the heat. Wrap up warm. Don't wear too many clothes if it's too hot. I love to just get out there and run in a t-shirt. I think that's been part of the enjoyment as well. Just running light, with a baggy t-shirt on, sort of getting out there and doing it. But wear the right clothing for the conditions. Make sure you take plenty of fluids on board. If it's warm, if you can wear light colours, that tends to help. You don't sweat as much. You don't overeat. I think I was in danger of that a couple of weeks ago. I was in a good place with my running 2 weeks ago. I'd started like I had this week, and this is a bit of a lesson I've learned. I think I overeated after a Wednesday run, and then all of a sudden my immune system packed up for 3 or 4 days, and I felt poorly. So again, it's just about sort of learning, even though these things, it's about learning your lessons as you go along, and just sometimes feeding that information out. I need those reminders. I need someone to tell me, and I need to talk about it, whether it's with Kay or with the wider running group. I was like, yeah, I didn't feel great. And they said, did you do this? And that's the conversation I'm trying to build. So that's where I'm at with that. But when it comes to your activity, someone like myself, when I'm on it, I like to get out there every day and do it regardless of the conditions. But it's just a case of making sure you do it properly. I've got a few comments coming in. Just going back to that throwback question. Christian says, Stuart Pearce kicked me and my dad out the tunnel when it was autographed day at the City Ground, but he took us through to the players and we jumped the queue. Amazing. One of my heroes. Any Forest fan would love to have been shown to the front by Stuart Pearce. So thanks for that, Christian. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate your comment as well. Door on Tour says, have you done a run in this heat? I did it this morning and need a rest. I have. It's absolutely horrible. It was a steady one, to be honest. Tonight I was pacing somebody who was a little bit steadier than me, so there was, after the last few days, it was just a bit of easing off, but it was important for me to get outdoor. Thanks for commenting. And Dawn says, I defo run in the cold. The heat just, Tammy, takes everything out of me. I'm not sure. I think there might be a speller in there. There we go. Really takes it out of me. I wondered what was going on there, Dawn. It does. It's really hard, and for the reasons I said before, it's important just to be careful. I'll always encourage activity. I'll never put anybody off, but there's ways we can do it. I've done episodes in the past. I might sort of tag those into this video of running in different conditions. When it's hot, you might go and run in the woodlands. Last week when I did the coaching session, it was even hotter than today. So I took the guys up to a sheltered road and we did some hill reps. Tough session, but it was important that we took precautions, and that's what it's really about. Thanks for the question there. Moving on to question 2. This is from Kay. With Kate Bush reaching #1 after a few decades away, which artist would you like to see back in the charts? Interesting one, that. And I've not actually read this question. Kay actually puts these on for me, and I don't actually know what's coming once people have sent them in, especially when she's wrote the question herself. So not a chance to think about it, but it's interesting that Kate Bush is in the charts, isn't it? I think the people I'd really like to see, you know, and they're perhaps, you know, just, well, one or two of them aren't even possible. As when I was growing up, I was forced to listen to Elvis, you know, and I hated it. My mum absolutely loved him, and it was something that drove me insane. But as I've got older, I really, really appreciate it. I really love um, his songs, you know, and what he did, and appreciate how good he was. Another one, you know, one of my favourites now is, again, a little bit sort of past his best, but it's Bruce Springsteen. Absolutely love some of the songs that he done, you know. So couple there, but I tend to just listen to some of the older stuff now. Show my age. Sorry, young'uns, but it's the way it goes when we get past a certain age. And she did ask the question about older people. So there's two in particular. Really sort of enjoy them. I'd love to see both of them. And someone else I think has got an absolutely amazing voice and probably still young enough to get into the charts is Alison Moyet. I think she's got the best female voice I've ever heard. And I'm a fan of Adele, but I think Alison Moyet's voice was even better. So if you've got anything to add to that, you know, anything just to make people think, oh, I might listen to that, you know, I want to know what he's talking about, just drop it in a comment. I'd really appreciate that. That'd be brilliant. I've got a couple of more comments. Dawn says, I thought you would say Stereophonics. I see them every time they come to Nottingham. I've probably seen them 10 times already, and I'll probably see them again. So that's not one from the past back in the charts, is it? Although they probably are past the charting at the moment. But even so, I'll go for all the old stuff. Really enjoy that. And Charlotte says, love the boss, you know, just like me. I think everybody does, don't they, for their own reasons. But no, I really enjoy it. Born to Run is one of my favourites. Really do love that song. So, yeah, there's just a few. And again, it's just one of those questions. It's just throwing things out there. It's not serious. If you have got serious questions, if you want to ask me about the mental health side of it, the running side of it, just a bit like the first question, heat or ice, you know, I'll answer those. But anything that's just going on, if people watch this, if people are following what I'm doing, you know, I don't take myself too seriously. I'm just, you know, I'll take the piss out myself. I'll do what I'll try and have a laugh amongst all the seriousness. I'm quite serious in many ways, but really daft as well. So it's just a bit of something, is it? It's just me trying to be realistic. So if you've got anything, you know, to ask me, or you want to ask me something serious and you don't really want a name put to it, but some real good comments this week, really good stuff. I've had some conversations kind of offline, talking to people about how they've used what I've said, and that's been a real nice thing for me as well, and I'm sure it's helping those people, so really appreciate that. So if you've got anything serious, but here's another less serious one, will you be doing a stag do vlog? Somebody's obviously picked up on this. This week I put out somewhere on my social media that my stag do's coming up and I've finally got it sorted. I had big plans, but I've said many times, it seems to be when it's not your turn, you've got all these big ideas, but when it comes around, you're like, oh God, I've got this part of it to do. Don't get me wrong, I'm really looking forward to it. We're actually going to the races, glorious Goodwood. 10 or 11 of us are going to Brighton for the weekend and then on to Goodwood. So I'm really looking forward to that. You know, I love Brighton as a place anyway. And then sort of going to a big race meeting and dressing up smart. That'll be really good. Am I going to vlog it? I don't think so. I'm going to be doing the Friday because it's Friday to Sunday. So I'll have to do my Friday vlog. I'll possibly do Wake Up to Walk in Brighton, or perhaps on the way, even on the train. Although that's not Wake Up to Walk, is it? But I'll find a way of getting a vlog in and letting you know what I'm up to, letting you know how much I'm looking forward to it and things like that. But what goes on tour stays on tour, isn't that the motto? I'm sure Kay will probably kill me for that, but yeah, I'm not sure I'll be vlogging the stag do, although there'll be lots of blogging of it. I'm sure there'll be lots of pictures and lots of photos. I love my social media. I love taking photos. I make no bones about that. I love sharing photos of what I've done and taking new pictures and pictures of different things. It's all part of what I do. I mention it every Friday of getting out there and seeing different scenes and views and things like that. I really, really enjoy that. So, yeah, there'll be lots of blogging, but I'm not quite sure about vlogging. No, that might be a little bit too much. And with the extra few pints here and there, I'm sure probably wouldn't want to see it anyway. But thanks for those guys. Really, really appreciate it. Appreciate the guys that have tuned in as well, and left some comments. It really does help me with what I'm trying to do. Just light art and stuff, it's just a little bit of escapism from reality, just checking on what someone else is doing, what I'm doing. It's just a chance to see how I'm getting on. And at times I'll encourage, I'll be serious. There's serious messages within it all. But this week I'm just feeling absolutely fantastic. Really, really sort of pleased to be sort of fighting fit almost, getting back there, and with all those good things to come, the Stag do as well, just the latest one to put on the calendar, all those things on the calendar, it's the best place to be. And with the potential of achieving great things in terms of the running and big events coming up, the Great North Run, someone said to me this week, how do you get to do so much? The reality is I do so much because I work hard. And I make sacrifices in some things. I don't have the big material things, I've not got a big house and a big car and don't go on extravagant holidays. I just want to be doing the things I enjoy. And when you can do that, it doesn't really matter whether it's work or it's not, when it is work and you're enjoying it, it's brilliant, isn't it? I get to go to the cricket. I'm not trying to justify this, but I work really hard. Somebody said to me, how do you've got such a nice life balance. I'm actually working all the time. I just find I've got enough sort of balance to say when I want to do something, I'm going to go and do it. And that's what it's about, isn't it? It's about enjoying the good times, enjoying what picks you up, like the running has this week, puts you in a good mood, talking to people, being there, being readily available for others as well and helping people. And that's all I need. And that with Kay and what I've got is absolutely perfect. So to end this week, of course, we always do it with a throwback question. Are you a warm weather or cold weather fan? Doesn't necessarily mean in terms of running, just in general. Which do you prefer? You might like wrapping up in the winter under a duvet and watching a film. You might like getting out and running through the mud like I do. Always say love running in the rain. There was a little bit of it in this heat tonight, which was quite refreshing. So really, really enjoyed that. So please answer that. Anything you've got, I'll read it out next week. Hopefully try and sort of help other people understand where they are with it. Just before that, please email any of that or drop it in the comments like I've said before. Email des@dorunning.org.uk. Comment on any of the social media throughout the week, any of the episodes. Please do check back on some of the ones this week. You'll just see me smiling, being happy with what I've got, and really sort of enjoying ourselves. Dawn says there, congratulations on the 618 subscribers. Brilliant, isn't it? I can't believe it sometimes. It seems a long way since I was stressing over 50 or 100 or trying to get to 200. This year, it seems to have really taken off, and I'm so pleased for that. And just a quick question. Charlotte says, when's our first transfer coming? Impatient now. From what I hear, Charlotte, it won't be too long, will it? It's happening tonight, I believe, isn't it? If it all going to plan. Some guy from Germany, from the Bundesliga. So look out for that one. And I'm sure once the first one comes, it's just going to get that Premier League buzz going even more, isn't it? It's going to get us even more excited because once one comes, I feel Forest are the type of club now that will just go, we do all our business and we release it all at the same time and it's done. And then we start working at it, just putting their ass in order, a bit like what I'm trying to do here, put my ass in order and then take it forward from there. And I think Forest are a little bit like that, aren't they? So thanks for that input. Thanks for everything. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I'm really, really grateful for the support I get with this. It's absolutely brilliant. And until the morning, when I'll be back out, hopefully it won't be raining then. I'll be back out in the sunshine, I'll be back out doing some activity. I also want to get a run in tomorrow as well. I don't want to do too much. I've had an easy one today, but I want to get out there, get some more activity in, get up early, really, really attack it, explain the benefits on Wake Up to Walk, why I do it, what's worked for me this week, what I can take forward into next week. You know, all the usual stuff, similar messages, but with a different slant. I'll be following that Knott's Clock Walk. I always call it clockwork. Knott's Clock Walk 60. I had to cut it short a little bit last week, so probably a little bit extra to do this week. So I'll be out really, really early, ploughing through the South Notts countryside. I wouldn't have it any other way. Until the morning, guys, have a fantastic evening. Just doing it.